Sean todos bienvenidos a una nueva edición de Monday Night Football Talk a través de Facebook Live. Sean todos bienvenidos a una nueva edición de Monday Night Football Talk a través de Facebook Live. Soy Ricardo García, junto a quienes ustedes conocen muy bien, mi compañero en cada una de estas transmisiones, Randy Fuller, experiencia en la NFL, 2 títulos de conferencia, uno con los Steelers de Pittsburgh, el otro con los Falcons de Atlanta. Les vamos a llevar esta noche una muy importante edición de Monday Night Football Talk. Es nuestro 7º show y le vamos a dar una cordial bienvenida a nuestro invitado especial de esta noche en un momento más. Antes, permítame saludarlos a todos, deseándoles que estén muy bien, todos en sus casas y acompañándonos esta noche. Randy, hello, brother. How are you doing? And how was this past week with all what's going on in Houston and in the rest of the world? How are you doing?
Man, hanging in there. You know, we made it to another Monday, so it's always great to connect, knowing that everybody's doing well. The city of Houston is still crazy. It's better to stay in and stay safe. And, you know, that's everywhere right now. Everybody need to continue those guidelines, I believe. So my prayers continue to go out to all the family and all the loved ones throughout the country. So I'm just happy to do the show, excited about our guest that we're having tonight, and can't wait to get started.
Well, a lot of people are going to ask themselves why you and I are wearing suits tonight, these jackets. Well, it's in honor of our guest. Definitivamente que esta noche vestimos sacos en honor de nuestro invitado, porque por primera vez en Monday Night Football Talk contamos con la presencia de un miembro del Salón de la Fama. Un hombre que no necesita presentación. He needs no introduction. But let me just tell you a few facts about his very successful career in the NFL. Les voy a decir algunos datos de su muy destacada carrera en la NFL. Definitivamente que ya reconocen ustedes, fue entronizado. He was enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame en 2012. Fue entronizado al Salón de la Fama en el año 2012. Pasó 13 carreras. 13-year career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was also a 7-time Pro Bowler. Fue 7 veces convocado al Juego de Estrellas de la NFL, el Pro Bowl. 6 times a first team for the NFL. All first team NFL. 6 veces primer equipo de la liga. No solamente eso, estamos hablando de uno de los mejores centros en la historia de la NFL. Y damas y caballeros, sin más preámbulos, por favor, el aplauso y le damos una cordial bienvenida a Dermontti Dawson. Dermontti, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for accepting this invitation, taking the time to be with the fans. I know I don't need to tell you, you know that. Steelers Nation in Latin America, especially in Mexico, is the largest fan base of any team in the NFL. How are you doing, my friend? How are you and your loved ones hanging out through this ordeal?
Oh, hey, Ricardo. Hey, thank you guys for having me on the show, you and Randy. You know, right now, man, we're doing exceptionally well, you know, just trying to stay safe. You know, of course, a mandate here in California, wearing masks in all public areas. But, you know, and I always try to warn people. I said, hey, just because they're loosening all the restrictions doesn't mean you have to go out and do the things you once did before, because the virus is still here. And you still have to be careful and cautious. And, you know, just trying to take one day at a time and be smart about how we kind of, you know, go about business and our personal lives. Yeah, just trying to stay safe. I do not want to contract this virus. And I know people say that, you know, it's like the flu, but you don't know how it's going to affect your body. And I'm telling people, I said, hey, you gotta be cautious in everything you do.
Le pregunto a Dermontti que, bueno, ¿cómo está él y sus seres queridos? Dicen, bueno, estamos tratando de tomar un día a la vez y que él ha sido muy consciente de que no quieres contraer esta enfermedad, este virus, que es muy importante mantenerse en casa, que los nuevos conceptos de normalidad tienen que respetarse, utilizar mascarilla, mantener la distancia, y que en este caso, en donde está él, en San Diego, California, pues hay que acoplarse a esas medidas que la autoridad establece. I'm just going to go right to the plate or right to the line of scrimmage. Dermontti, you were drafted in 1988, coming from the University of Kentucky, and you knew that the Steelers had maybe the best center in the history of football once you got into the league. Tú fuiste seleccionado de la Universidad de Kentucky, llegaste a los Steelers y sabías que estaba uno de los mejores centros de la historia ocupando esa posición. How hard was it for you? ¿Qué tan difícil fue para ti getting into a team and knowing that in the future you're going to have to follow the steps, the footsteps of one of the greatest centers, Mike Webster? Tener que seguir los pasos de uno de los mejores centros de la historia, Mike Webster.
Well, at first, I started at guard my rookie year beside Mike. And I didn't know they were going to switch me to center until my second year, until Chuck Noll, when I was coming down the hallway, and he called me into his office. And apparently, I guess going back to the 88 draft, they ended up drafting Chuck Lanza from Notre Dame at that time to take over for Mike. So after my rookie year, then Chuck Noll called me into his office and said, "Hey, we want to switch you to center." And I said, "Okay, coach." I said, "That's fine." I played a little center in college, the bowl game. And then I practiced against the first team on scout team. So I just told him, I said, "Hey, just give me a chance to, once I was switched to center my second year following Mike, what better example to have to try to emulate than Mike Webster?" And I just told the media, I said, "Hey, I know I got big shoes to fill. It's not a guaranteed thing. So just give me time to learn the position and just kind of go from there." And and I give a lot of credit for Mike Webster as well, because Mike in his 15th year, my rookie season, Mike was the first in every drill. Mike was writing down every single thing the coach said, but he probably knew the offense better than the offense coordinator, because he was the center, just trying to, calling out the plays and making all the adjustments. So what better person to have as an example? And I know I probably bugged Mike to death, asking him questions my rookie year about why he did this and why he did that. But then after, Chuck Noll wanted me to switch to center my second year, I tried to emulate everything that Mike did, write down everything that coach said, even though I probably knew the offense pretty well, but just to, solidify it in my mind. And then also I did what Mike did in practice. I was the first one in drills, kind of led by example. That's how Mike was. And I attribute a lot of my success just trying to be like Mike.
Like the song says.
Yeah.
Dice Dermontti que cuando llegó a Pittsburgh, que fue seleccionado por los Steelers, primero jugó como novato en la posición de guardia junto a Mike Webster y aprendió definitivamente de uno de los mejores centros en la historia, un hombre que llegaba primero a las prácticas, que hacía cada una de las cosas que le pedían los coaches, que sabía la ofensiva mejor que el mismo coordinador ofensivo y que al mismo tiempo probablemente Dermontti cansaba o fastidiaba a Mike Webster con todas las preguntas, pero quería absorber ese conocimiento y que lo hizo porque le atribuye obviamente gran parte de su éxito a lo que aprendió de Mike Webster y se convirtió después en su segundo año en centro titular de los Steelers de Pittsburgh cuando Mike Webster ya se fue entonces a los Chiefs de Kansas City. Go ahead, Randy.
Man, Money, I'm super excited. I wore my Hall of Fame blazer for you.
Hey, I'm sorry. I just have a Hall of Fame T-shirt on for you.
It's all good. Well, you're our first Hall of Famer. We're excited to have you.
Well, hey, thank you guys for having me.
And I want to stay right there at the beginning. First, I know you were second team All SEC, and I definitely want to know who was first team, and I hope that they had a very successful NFL career. And then, secondly, most players over a course of time earn a nickname, kind of at the end of their career, when they retire. But you earn your nickname in your second year. I mean, just tell me what was going on for you to be called Dirt after only 2 years of playing in the NFL.
Well, I used to tell the coaches, one of my teammates, Cornell Burbage from the University of Kentucky, I used to wear these forearm pads in college because I was a pulling guard.
Yeah.
And my patented move coming out, attacking linebackers and cornerbacks, I'd give them a little forearm shiver up under the chin, and their head would go back like this. And I knew it wasn't illegal, but Cornell Burbage came to camp one year in '89, my second year, and he said, "Man, we call him Dirty D." He said, "Have you seen that little forearm shiver he gives people when he hits them, and their head goes back?" So Cornell Burbage was the guy who came into camp, one of my teammates from the University of Kentucky, came into camp my second year, and told all the coaches about, we call him Dirty D. So that's how it all became, you know. It got cut to short to Dirt, you know, when Myron Cope and those guys started to, my nickname. Yeah, they cut it down.
Dice Randy, le pregunta a Dermontti que de dónde viene, cuál es el origen de su apodo, Dirt. Dirt porque solía enterrar a los linieros defensivos que enfrentaba en el terreno. Y Dermontti le responde, bueno, primero un compañero de él en la Universidad de Kentucky que recuerda cómo metía el antebrazo y mandaba a los oponentes, a los defensivos, a los linebackers para atrás cuando jugaba la posición de guardia. Cuando llegó a la NFL, visitando a este compañero de la Universidad de Kentucky, una práctica de los Steelers de Pittsburgh, le hace saber a los demás compañeros de Dermontti aquel apodo, y desde ahí Myron Cope, aquella gran voz de los Steelers, el creador de Terrible Towel, apodó obviamente a Dermontti como Dirt, y así lo conocemos todos como Dirt por lo hecho. Let me go quickly, gentlemen, through a couple of comments that we are getting right now. Sergio Carrasco, who is the president of the Steelers family in Mexico City, he sends his best Dermontti to you and to you, Randy. Abel Telles is also watching the show. Excellent job. He enjoyed your career. Hugo Benita is watching the show from Monterrey, Mexico. Steelers Nation in Monterrey. Dr. Luis Cavazos also from Monterrey. Yes. And still we have more people joining the show. But I'm gonna go here, Dermontti. Once your dream comes true as a professional football player, but because I'm sure as a kid you dream of one day playing football, even though I've read this story and I want you to tell us about it, that you didn't want to play football in your, I think it was your sophomore year in high school.
Yeah, my junior year.
Tell us about that. I mean, what made you decide to stay away from football? Because you were also a big-time track and field star as a shot putter. Tell us about that story.
Well, it all started in middle school. You know, I played my 9th grade year because I had some of my buddies that went out for the team. Mm-hmm. And of course, at that time, I really didn't want to play football, and because I love track and field. Okay. So I didn't. They made me a tight end because I've been probably the same height since 9th grade, about 6'3". But I was like 175, you know, at that time. Wow. So they made me a tight end. But, you know, I missed a few practices, didn't like practice. So I said, okay, when I get to high school, I'm just going to run track and I'm going to wrestle. So move it forward to my junior year, my sophomore year, my junior year, I had one of my coaches, Steve Parker, who was newly hired. I think he was in his 2nd year coaching the football team at Bryan Station High School in Lexington. So I was coming out of chemistry or biology class, I can't remember. And I just remember coming out in the hallway, and he just grabbed me. He said, "Son, do you play football?" I said, "No, sir." And he thought I was an adult, you know, one of the parents. And he said, "Where have you been all my life?" And he said, "You got to play football." So he had Cornell Burbage, who was my teammate, who came to Pittsburgh and started the Dirty D nickname, and Mark Logan, who were on the track team with me as well. And then Mark played 12 years in the NFL as well as a running back. And he said, you know, both of those guys convinced me to go out my junior year. And then the rest was history. I played tackle. I was number 75. I played left tackle at Bryan Station High School. And then it just kind of took off from there. You know, I started to get better and better, you know, doing the weights, you know, being in the weight room and going to University of Kentucky strength camps. Pat Etcheberry, who was a track coach, and also he was a javelin and discus thrower for, I think, Turkey in the Olympics. And I was state champion both 2 years, my junior and senior year, for track and field. Wow. And also I was a 4.4 sprinter in high school as well. But we had so many good guys sprinting that I didn't have to do the sprinting. I would work out with the guys running, but all they wanted me to do was score points on the field events, shot and discus. So I went 2 years undefeated, you know, shot and discus in the state of Kentucky. And I was first team All-American. And I had more scholarship offers to play for track and field as opposed to football.
Wow.
But, you know, my rationale when I wanted to, when I was thinking about attending colleges for either football or track, it was because I said, okay, well, if I do well in football, maybe I can make an NFL team and make some money. or I can go to the Olympics. I wanted to do both, but the possibility of doing that is, slim to none. Yeah, so that's how I kind of started.
Le pregunto a Dermontti que hubo un momento en su vida cuando estuvo en duda el que se convirtiera en un jugador de fútbol americano, porque cuando pasó de secundaria a preparatoria, él se alejó del campo de fútbol americano y estaba más interesado en la práctica de lanzamiento de disco y de bala, pero que hubo un coach en la preparatoria que dijo, ¿dónde has estado toda mi vida? Tienes que venir a convertir parte del equipo de fútbol americano, y junto a Cornell Burgess, que ha sido uno de los compañeros de él que estuvo en Kentucky también, bueno, formó parte de ese equipo de fútbol americano, primero como ala cerrada, después se convirtió en tackle vistiendo el número 75 en su uniforme, pero él estuvo muy interesado en mantenerse como parte del equipo de atletismo, ya que corría en la pista, pero también lanzaba el disco y lanzaba la bala, que en un momento tuvo más ofertas para ser becado como atleta que como jugador de fútbol americano, pero aceptó el fútbol americano porque sabía que había una mayor posibilidad de económicamente verse mejor o más beneficiado a través de la NFL. It's all yours, Randy.
Man, I'm loving this. So it's I mean, going from the beginning to, gosh, I got similar stories to Monty. I was a 2-time state champion in track and field and the long jump.
Right.
And my dream was to long jump in the Olympics. And I just got smart enough to know that football was going to give me my best chance of doing anything. So I did the same thing. But listen, your position, I want to go to the game. Your position, which is probably one of the hardest positions in the game, in my opinion. You're not only snapping the ball and moving all at the same time, but you're also calling out blocking assignments and just doing 10,000 things. But I really want to know, throughout your career, who was that one player that you just really, really hated playing against?
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a lot of guys I respected, man. And, I think it depends on, like when you're playing against an offense, Randy, you know how this is. It depends on the scheme of the offense.
Right.
Now it's the same way for offensive players going against defensive players. Mm-hmm. I tell you, some of the hardest guys or the hardest hitting guys I've ever played against were Jeff Herrard for Indianapolis and Al Smith for Houston Oilers at that time.
Wow.
I mean, both of those guys, man, were just straight up headbutt you and give you a headache or a concussion when you're hitting them. You get your bell rung. You can't say that anymore.
Right.
That's the way it was. I had much respect for those guys at the linebacker position. Wow. Now, interior linemen, let me tell you, man, Michael Dean Perry was one of the best defensive linemen. We had to go against him each and every year, twice. Tim Crumrine, nose tackle for Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Because he was a former wrestler. Okay. He knew how to counter your moves, use your momentum against you. Just a phenomenal nose guard. One of the strongest guys I've ever played against. Oh man, I just went blank. Played for the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals. Number 95. Oh gosh.
I know that big dude.
Defensive tackle.
Be mad at me. But man, I can't remember his name.
We'll pull it up while you
Yeah. But those are some of the guys that were tough playing against. Michael, playing against him twice a year. Tim Crumrine, he was in his prime. Al Smith and those guys. Yeah, man, it just depends on the defensive scheme.
Right.
Yeah.
Le pregunta a Randy Dermontti, bueno, durante su carrera, una posición que definitivamente representa mucho valor en cualquier equipo, es la de centro, y quizás la más difícil de todo el fútbol americano. ¿Cuáles han sido esos grandes rivales que enfrentó Dermontti Dawson durante su carrera que le trajeron más problemas? Y I had to write them down, Dermontti and Randy, just not to forget them. Tim Crumrine, ¿recuerdan a Tim Crumrine, liniero defensivo de los Bengals de Cincinnati? Aquel que sufrió una fractura de la pierna. He suffered a fractured leg during Super Bowl 23, if I'm not wrong, against the 49ers. You remember Tim Crumrine from that Super Bowl? Yeah. Él es uno de ellos. Michael Dean Smith también. Al Smith, linebacker de Houston. Jeff Rohr de los Colts de Indianapolis. Son algunos de los que más problemas recuerda Dermontti Dawson le trajeron en el campo de juego. I want to take that, Dermontti, and ask you also about, you talk about preparation, how important it is for a player to know the offensive system, be with the coaches, the meetings, be on the field. But how are players today going to have to handle not being on the field, inside team facilities throughout this pandemic? ¿Cómo van a los jugadores tener que manejar la situación ahora, sabiendo de la importancia de tener que estar juntas en el campo trabajando?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough transition. This is something we've never experienced before and never been through. And, I think as they learn more about the coronavirus, they're going to have to make adjustments on the fly. And I think, they've got great guidelines and restrictions right now. But, like any sport, football is a team sport and you have to be together. And I think that's going to hurt, guys, especially the rookie guys. They're going to be at a disadvantage coming in and learning the system unless they're given a playbook. But it's nothing like on-field and practice experience. And I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm sure they have something in place, where they can social distance and still be as a group learn, both offense and defensive systems. But it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be real tough. Le pregunto a Dermontti, ustedes escucharon que qué tan difícil va a ser para los jugadores adaptarse a través de esta pandemia al no poder estar reunidos. Y dice que definitivamente hay nuevas normalidades que van a tener que trabajar a marchas forzadas y que quizás los más afectados sean los novatos por no poder tener juntas, no estar trabajando en conjunto y a ver cómo se aplican también las nuevas reglas para cómo trabajar y estar reunidos en un deporte de conjunto como el fútbol americano. It's all yours, Randy.
Yeah, we're going to stay right there. Talking about if they start back in August with the Hall of Fame game, my question will be, will you attend? I know you probably already planned on attending. The question now is, will you attend, knowing what you know?
The ceremonies, I will. Yeah, just to pay respect for the guys who have been enshrined as well. Mm-hmm. They'll have guidelines in place. Just be smart about it. Washing your hands, don't touch your face, don't touch your eyes. Wearing a mask, being respectful to others. If you're asymptomatic or whatever the case may be, don't travel if you're sick. But yeah, I will go just to pay my respects for the guys who have been enshrined this year.
And the reason I want to know that is because the time I did go to the Hall of Fame to support a couple of guys, man, I was like a kid in a candy store.
Hey, Randy, it's a great experience, man.
Yeah, it's a great experience. So yeah. I'm worried about the fan that's just so excited to be around you guys, just making sure that you're protected. So
I'll
go ahead and pass that information. But yeah, just stay safe.
Oh yeah, don't worry, I will. I'm going to wear my mask. I'll be washing hands, hand sanitizer, just like I do every time I touch anything.
Absolutely.
I make my own hand sanitizer because you can't find it in the stores.
Never know if you need some. I'll send you some.
Oh man, I've got plenty right now, but I just made a new batch. Yeah.
Le pregunta al Randy Dermontti que si va a ir a la ceremonia del Salón de la Fama considerando las restricciones que existen ahora y que obviamente las oportunidades que Randy ha tenido de ir al Salón de la Fama, y estoy seguro que para cualquiera de ustedes que nos están viendo es como estar en una tienda, una dulcería, ¿verdad? Viendo a tantas leyendas juntas. Y Dermontti hace referencia que es importante traer la máscara, lavarse las manos, guardar la distancia. Si eres asintomático o has estado sintiendo algún malestar, no viajes, pero que es importante acudir para rendirle tributo a los que son parte de la nueva generación 2020 del Salón de la Fama del Fútbol Americano Profesional y que esperamos que en tiempo y forma se cumpla. Gerardo Lerma from Monterrey sends his best. They're watching us in Panama also.
All right.
Dermontti Alpiniano is down there watching the show. Oscar is from Costa Rica. He sends his best. He also has a question for you. I'm going to read first Gerardo's question. He wants to know, we just recently had a great news. Another Mexican college football player had, through the international pathway program of the NFL, has a chance now to play with the Dallas Cowboys, spend time during preseason with them, and during the season we're hoping he can be part of the team, at least through the practice squad. But he wants to know, with your knowledge, what do you think Mexican players need or Mexican college football needs so we can have more players in the near future try out for NFL teams?
Well, I'm really not for sure. I know, the national sport is soccer, and not
Yep.
American football.
Mhm.
So I think that's going to take precedence over American football. You've got a lot of athletes down in Mexico. I was down there with the Steelers hosting a football camp down in Mexico. This was about 2 or 3 years ago. We
Yep.
had phenomenal. We had adults and kids, and we did a 3-day camp, and it was phenomenal. And living here in San Diego, I know there's a big, huge Steeler population in Mexico City. When we host events here in San Diego, tons of Steeler fans.
Yeah.
But it's just it's tough when you have a national sport as soccer for players to start at a young age because they want to play their national sport, which is most prevalent. So yeah, but if you have some good athletes and they want to play both, but you still have to have some size. If you want to be an offensive or defensive lineman, and you have big kids down in Mexico as well, all over the country.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on when they choose to play that sport at what age and how they kind of progress at it. So, but with any sport, no matter if you get into it later or earlier, you still have to work. You still have to work. You still have to practice.
Well, you have an open invitation to come down to Mexico, and we would love to have you down here and see the kids and coach the kids and work out with the kids and teach them all the knowledge and your experience. That I'm sure they're going to appreciate that, Dermontti.
Yeah, it was a great experience coming down there, and I've been down there twice, hosting camps and workshops for adults and kids.
Yeah. Dice Dermontti, le pregunto, bueno, ¿qué necesita el jugador de fútbol americano de México para poder estar en la NFL? Y él habla de que hay muy buenos atletas. Él ha tenido la oportunidad de estar en México más un par de ocasiones y ha visto a los chicos en el campo, a jóvenes y a niños, y ve la velocidad y ve la calidad atlética. Cuando hacen también actividades en San Diego, ve varios chicos que van de México a San Diego y que hay muchos aficionados de los Steelers allá, pero que bueno, reconoce que el fútbol, soccer es el deporte nacional en México, pero que quizás muchos se enfocan en tratar de hacer una carrera dentro del fútbol. Aquí lo que tendrían que buscar es la decisión y la convicción de dedicarse de lleno al fútbol americano y poder abrir puertas para en un día estar dentro de este deporte. Gentlemen, let's take a quick break. Vamos, mis estimados amigos, a hacer una pausa y vamos a regresar. No se despeguen. En menos de 30 segundos estamos de vuelta. Estamos con Dermontti Dawson, miembro del Salón de la Fama y miembro del equipo de los Steelers de Pittsburgh de toda la historia. Uno de los mejores centros en la historia de la NFL. Vamos a este mensaje y ya volvemos. Fantastic, Dermontti.
Oh, you're welcome.
Estamos de regreso, estamos de vuelta, disfrutando de Monday Night Football Talk con todos ustedes y con una de las auténticas leyendas del fútbol americano, Dermontti Dawson, ex centro de los Steelers de Pittsburgh y miembro del Salón de la Fama de la generación 2012. Randy Fuller, tell me one story that you remember about Dermontti Dawson, locker room, Pittsburgh Steelers during the 1990s, best team running football in the whole league.
Man, I should have played running back for that team. That's the first thing.
And hopefully
the Hall of Fame jacket had I run behind the money. What was I thinking? I will tell you this. If anybody deserved to be in the Hall of Fame, I would have voted for Dermontti first all day. He was just the consummate professional. I mean, he did everything that was asked of him. He led by example and just an incredible personality. Probably the biggest thing I remember was our Super Bowl run in 1995. It was the year that Dermontti, I'm sure you remember this. We were 3-4, and Coach Cowher walks in the office in the meeting and he says there are going to be some changes. Yep. And I mean, when I say he changed the entire lineup on offense and defense, and from that change, that team didn't lose another game, and we went on to play in the Super Bowl, which eventually we lost, but we definitely should have won. But what I remember more than anything about the money was exceptional leadership like nobody business.
Hey, Randy, we went 11-5 that year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, we started out horrible, man, getting spanked. Hey, when coach came in the meeting room and said there's going to be some changes, and he changed things around,
Yep.
man, we went on that streak of what 8 games straight or something like that, 8 or 9
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
One of the best runs. I mean, it was
Yeah, it really was. It really was. I mean, Coach Cowher, man, just had a way about, you know, he was just a player's coach, man. I mean, he let the players play. He let us have input into the offense and defense. You know, we had all the captains and stuff, and we wanted to come talk to him about somebody not being happy about, you know, some of the plays. He would allow us to change things. And I think that was his big thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
¿Recuerda, Randy, esa temporada de 1995 que los Steelers ganan el campeonato de la Conferencia Americana, que empezaron la temporada 3-4 y después tienen una gran racha? Terminan la campaña, recuerda, Dermontti, Dawson 11-5, llegan al Super Bowl, que pierden en la edición 30 con los Cowboys de Dallas, pero que ese equipo, aquella ocasión, recordando a Bill Cowher, que entra al vestidor y dice, va a haber cambios, y a partir de esos cambios, el equipo cambió, fue mucho mejor y logró el título de la Conferencia Roja. Talking about Bill Cowher, Dermontti, he's going to get enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this year.
Indeed.
How fair is that? And tell us more about Bill Cowher, because a lot of the fans, new fans in the NFL, the past 20 years, know Bill Cowher from TV, but they don't know him as a coach.
As a coach, yeah.
Yeah, so tell something. Háblanos de Bill Cowher, porque muchos conocen a Bill Cowher por lo que ha hecho en televisión, pero no por lo que hizo en el fútbol americano, y este año va a entrar al Salón de la Fama. So tell us some of the stories about Bill Cowher, please, Dermontti.
Well, you know, hey, the thing about Coach Cowher, you know, when I first started out, I started with Chuck Noll, Coach Noll, for my first 4 years. And then Coach Cowher came in '92, and he hired Ron Earhart, offensive coordinator from the Giants at that time. But, you know, he was young at that time when he came in. He was trying to prove himself. He came in and made changes. And the thing about Coach Cowher, you know, Chuck Noll was towards the end of his career, and he was more laid back, and he would let the assistant coaches coach. But Bill Cowher was totally different. He's out there with us. He's hitting guys, you know, one-on-one drills. When we had O-line against D-line and the running backs in training camp, trying to set an example of toughness, because that's just the way he conducted practices. And Bill Cowher was he was a player's coach, because he was always in the mix with the players in the drills. He would run 40s after practice, you know, conditioning, in training camp, regular season. And I think the reason why players gravitated towards Coach Cowher, and I know, and it's just because of his personality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was just a player's coach. He allowed us to have input into the offensive, defensive systems, the calls, and he was just hands-on. And that's what made him such a popular coach.
Dermontti recuerda que cuando llegó a la NFL estuvo bajo el mando de Chuck Noll, otro miembro del Salón de la Fama, 4 veces ganadores del Super Bowl. Y cuando llega Bill Cowher, era un coach muy joven que trataba de ganarse definitivamente la aprobación de la liga, de la franquicia, de los jugadores, pero les permitía a los jugadores intervenir en el plan de juego, expresarse a sí mismos. Chuck Noll ya estaba terminando su carrera, era más relajado, dejaba que los coaches asistentes se encargaran de las cosas, pero Bill Cowher inclusive estaba en las prácticas, en los entrenamientos, golpeando con los jugadores, corriendo las 40 yardas con ellos en las prácticas, manteniéndose en condición física, y tenía una gran personalidad que provocaba que los jugadores gravitaran, como dice Dermontti, Dawson, hacia él. Una de las grandes figuras de todos los tiempos. Oscar Dermontti, he's following us from Costa Rica, and he wants to know, besides Mike Webster, which other athlete or player or person have you admired throughout your life?
My parents, you know, my mom and my dad. Okay. You know, because my dad, he suffered from alcoholism when I was younger. And so, you know, my mom kind of took the reins, and she had 4 boys. And she had to raise 4 boys when my dad was out of the house. So, yeah, she's who I look up to. And then I just went blank again. But as far as players, you know, of course, when I lived in Lexington, when I was growing up in Lexington, Kentucky, Of course, we had Cincinnati and Cleveland that were predominantly viewed on television. So I used to watch Anthony Munoz all the time. Those guys, man, were just it was a phenomenal team with the Bengals at that time.
Yeah.
And man, I just went completely blank. I've got one more guy. Miami
Anthony Munoz is Mexican. Okay.
Number 57. That's why I wore number 57 in college, because people said I looked like the White Stevenson when I played. And so I got my chance to meet him, my first Pro Bowl in '92, when he was being inducted to the Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame. And walking across the field, I got a chance to take a picture with him. So I have that picture in my album. So, he was one of my big favorites.
Wow. Le pregunto a Dermontti que qué personas ha admirado a lo largo de su vida. Nos hace la pregunta Oscar de Costa Rica y dice, bueno, definitivamente a sus padres. Cuando él era joven, su padre tuvo una batalla con el alcoholismo. Su madre tuvo que criar a 4 varones y fue una mujer que lo sacó adelante. Entonces, la admira mucho. Pero aparte de eso, de jugadores, bueno, Anthony Muñoz, que fue un enorme, extraordinario tackle, miembro del Salón de la Fama, sangre mexicana, con los Bengals de Cincinnati. Él vivía en Lexington, así que veía muchos juegos de los Bengals y de los Browns de Cleveland, porque Ohio y Lexington, Kentucky, they're real close, están muy cerca. Así que veía partidos de ellos, pero que el otro también, Dwight Stevenson. I'm going to get out of the shot because I want to show you something, the money. Hold on. There you go. That's your
Dwight Stevenson. There you go. Yeah. All right. That's nice.
I'm a collector as well, and that's someone I really admire as an offensive line too.
Very nice.
Así que habla Dermontti de que esos son los jugadores. Dwight Stevenson, gran liniero ofensivo de los Dolphins de Miami, otra de las figuras que él admiró también durante su carrera. Go ahead, Randy. I'm enjoying the show. I'm just getting warmed up with Dermontti.
I'm telling you, man, the show's gonna be over. We're not gonna even get all the Hey, listen, Dermontti, listen, you are a Hall of Famer. And there are a bunch of Hall of Famers that you have met since you joined the Hall of Fame. How can we bridge the gap where the Hall of Famers, at least the Hall of Famers, not just you guys, but everybody, can share their expertise with the current players? Is there a platform for that? Because, I mean, I'm not saying the coaches in the NFL can't coach, but some of them have never played the position.
Yeah.
And therefore, I know as a former player, we can kind of echo it a little better. But wouldn't it be great if every training camp you can, like you're in San Diego, that you could just go over to the Chargers and share just one afternoon about how you played the game? What do you think about that?
Well, it could be a mentorship program, that the NFL could start to incorporate and, blend, have some of the Hall of Fame guys, whatever city they're in, or even travel if they're not too far away, where they can drive and be like a mentorship type of program.
Right. Advisor
training camps and stuff, and just kind of put your knowledge or have them ask questions, Q&A type of event. But, you have a lot of guys, man, who, and it's amazing when you go back to Canton, Ohio, and you get a chance to talk to all these legends who played before us.
Right.
It's amazing, man, just to sit there and have a conversation with them. And it just trips me out when I go to Canton, Ohio every year to celebrate the new enshrinees. And when I'm sitting here talking to, say Coach Landry before he passed away, Coach Shula.
Right.
I mean, it just blows my mind. Bobby Bell, Ed Too Tall Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, all these legendary coaches, man. It just blows my mind. But I think it's going to have to take each team to bring back their players, some of the Hall of Fame players, to visit with their teams first before I think the NFL does it. But it would be a great program to start up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You can pass that knowledge on to players, to the younger guys.
Le pregunta Randy a Dermontti que qué piensa de la participación de exjugadores dentro de los campos de entrenamiento y trabajando con los equipos, porque hay muchos coaches en la NFL que ni siquiera jugaron y hay jugadores como Dermontti y Dawson con mucho conocimiento que pudieran compartir toda esa experiencia con los nuevos jugadores. Y Dermontti dice, bueno, sería fantástico que hubiese un programa de mentores o de asesores para los equipos y los jugadores, que muchas veces pudiera darse el caso que un jugador, aunque no haya jugado con ese equipo, pero que viva cerca de esa franquicia, pueda ir al campo de entrenamiento, que sería interesante que se propusiera un programa, porque se ha dado los casos cuando se reúnen para una ceremonia de Salón de la Fama, están todas estas grandes leyendas del fútbol americano compartiendo tanto conocimiento y hablando entre ellos, que sería fantástico que los nuevos jugadores y los equipos tuvieran la oportunidad de aprender esto. I have Luis Antonio Ledesma also saying hello from Panama. Jaime Castillo from Costa Rica is also watching the show. Man, the money, Randy, we should travel to all these places. We're waiting to see us down there.
I've been to Costa Rica, and I've been through Panama Canal on a cruise ship, but that's the closest I've been to Panama.
That definitely doesn't count.
But I want to go though.
Well, next time you're gonna go and you're gonna stop in Panama City and get down from that big boat and enjoy the city.
Great. It would be great.
Dice Dermontti que él ha estado en Panamá, ha cruzado, ha ido a Costa Rica o a Panamá en un crucero por el canal de Panamá. Okay, Dermontti, let's talk about coaches and minorities in the NFL. The opportunities that have to be given to the people with all the knowledge, the experience, and that I know a few of them, and just I say a few just to say something, but I know that they have all the knowledge and have all the credentials to become head coaches in the league or general managers in the league. A few days ago, the NFL put out this new rule or a way to try to promote teams to hire minorities. What do you think about that? And I know that you also went through an internship as a coach with the Cincinnati Bengals. Do you see yourself in the future as a coach in the league or in college football or somewhere else? I mean, let's talk about that and what needs to happen for minorities to be given a fair shot to be head coaches or GMs in the NFL. ¿Qué tiene que pasar para que las minorías?
Well, it's great that they started with the Rooney League, having to interview certain minority coaches or a certain amount of minority coaches for head jobs and GM jobs as well. And that's great because, you have a lot of guys out there who've proven themselves in the collegiate level, and you have guys who have grown up knowing football their whole entire lives that could make great GMs or great coaches. They just need to be given a chance. Yeah. And, some owners are a little hesitant to do that, but you have a lot of guys out there who are worthy of being head coaches that should have been head coaches long before their time, but just hadn't been given a chance. I don't know what it's going to take. I know the internship is there in place with the Rooney Rule, and they have the internship as well, which I participated in. And when I was coaching in Cincinnati in 2010 season. For myself, I don't think that, coaching is going to be a part of my life because it's just so tough. The grind is 24/7. I got a taste of it when I was with Cincinnati. Then I went through the internship with the Steelers as far as management, being a scout. And it's a lot of time on the road. And I think it depends on where you are in your life, what you want, what sacrifices you want to make. Right. And that's one sacrifice I don't want to make right now as far as time away from my wife and kids. I just don't think it's for me. But it's not for everybody. It's a grind, and you got to have a strong wife in order to be a scout or a coach. Because I know my coach used to always tell me, he said, "Well, just ask my wife. My wife, how much has she seen me?" So it's tough, man. You got to have a strong person, with you, a strong mate, to be able to handle that. And I don't want to, I'm too far in my life. I'm about to turn 55. I don't want to be on the road. I want to be here with my wife when she gets home from work, and I want to be here for her.
Okay.
And my kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes. Le pregunto a Dermontti, bueno, ¿qué pasa con el tema de las minorías en la liga? La NFL ha tratado de generar algunos incentivos para que se le den más oportunidades a coaches y administrativos afroamericanos o latinos dentro de la liga. Y él dice, bueno, todo empezó con la regla Rooney, ha ido creciendo el programa de internships, de interinatos dentro de la NFL, tanto administrativos como coaches, que él en lo personal no se ve como un coach de fútbol americano. Él pasó por ese programa, pero que reconoce que eso requiere un trabajo de 24 horas, 7 días a la semana, que él no está dispuesto a hacer ese sacrificio, no está en ese momento en su vida, que es muy importante el tiempo que él pasa con su esposa y su familia, y que es más importante, como lo escuchamos en un momento del coach Juan Castillo, and we heard that from Coach Castillo, Randy, too, a few weeks ago, que necesitas una compañera que te apoye y una familia que te apoye para poder hacer posible una carrera como coach dentro del fútbol americano. Go ahead, Randy, please.
Man, yeah, this is really, really great, Dermontti. Thanks again.
Well, hey, thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah. Hey, and we're June birthdays, by the way. My birthday is June 2nd, so happy birthday.
All right. Hey, thank you. Happy birthday to you as well, Rand.
And I turned a big 5-0, and my party, of course, got canceled. So,
I know, man.
So look like we're gonna take this party over to Panama, since you haven't been there, and we will celebrate. Everybody that's listening in from Panama and Costa Rica, you guys can come over too. But I want to know, going back to the Hall of Fame, getting that call, receiving that call, just not knowing whether it was going to happen or not. Just can you walk us through that process? How was it, the wait process, and then actually getting the call? Can you walk us through that process?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're eligible after 5 years and you become a finalist on the ballot, you know, of course, you know it's going to take time for you to come in. People always say that you're going to be a first ballot. You don't know that. Nobody knows that until the voters say you're in. And you know, and I really didn't sweat the process. I can tell you what, but after I was a finalist 1 or 2 years, the time that I was inducted into the Hall of Fame, I was going to go hit golf balls at the driving range. And my wife said, "Hold on, aren't you expecting a potential call, you know, for enshrinement to the Pro Football Hall of Fame?" I said, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to make it this year." And sure enough, I made it, and my phone blows up. I got so many calls and so many emails, so much data coming into my phone that my phone completely went bonkers. And I had to call the Hall of Fame on my home phone. I was trying to get a hold of Mr. David Baker and those guys at the Hall of Fame at that time. Well, no, it wasn't David Baker. Oh man, I forgot. Well, I had the Hall of Fame. I had to you know, use my home phone to call those guys back. So it was Mr. Perry, who was the acting president at that time.
Awesome.
So yeah, man, it was just kind of surreal, you know. And I mean, it's the ultimate honor for us, you know, as a player. That is the ultimate honor, being enshrined in Canton, Ohio. Like I said, they can't cut you. You can't even die from it. It's crazy.
I love it.
Hey, it's the ultimate honor, man. It really is, and it's still kind of surreal to me. It doesn't change me as a person, you know. It's just another, you know, title or whatever you want, accolade. But it's the ultimate, you know, and it's great.
Le pregunta Randy a Dermontti que nos cuente aquella historia de su entronización y el aviso para entrar al Salón de la Fama. Y dice Dermontti, bueno, que hay muchos que creen que la primera, después de retirarse 5 años, ya van a entrar. Y él sabía que, bueno, si pasa bien y si no, no, me espero. No se preocupó mucho. Estaba, de hecho, jugando golf cuando era ese tercer año dentro de la balota de nominados y lo llaman. Y definitivamente la esposa le dijo, bueno, te vas a jugar golf, no vas a estar esperando la llamada. No se quiso preocupar por eso. El celular quedó hecho pedazos por las llamadas y los correos de aquella ocasión cuando se da la noticia de Dermontti Dawson de entrar al Salón de la Fama, y que bueno, es un equipo extraordinario del que nunca te van a sacar, nunca te vas a morir, porque siempre vas a ser parte de ese recinto de los inmortales de Canton, Ohio. Dermontti, I don't want to say goodbye without asking you this, because I hear it from Randy Fuller, and that's one thing from hearing from a former player, former Steelers player that played for other teams. And another is to hear it from a former Steelers player that played his whole career as a Steeler. Right. You had a chance to become a free agent in 1997.
I did.
But you chose to sign with the Steelers. Why? Una cosa es escucharlo de Randy Fuller, otra es escucharlo de Dermontti Dawson, que pasó toda su carrera con Pittsburgh y en 1997, en lugar de ser agente libre, decidió firmar con Pittsburgh. Why did you stay with the Steelers?
Well, for me, it was, you know, I wanted to be a one-player or one-team player. And even though, you know, the Steelers always treated me well. The Steelers always treated me well. It is a first-class operation, ownership, coaches, GMs, all across the board. And I know everybody has a story when it comes to, playing for a certain team. Not everybody likes the upper management. Those guys always treated me well, with respect. And I wanted to stay there because you see guys who have success with one team, they go to another team, and next thing you know, they don't fit in the system. If I were to go somewhere else, I may not have been the perfect fit for that system. And I wouldn't have had as much success in that system as I had with the Steelers. So I'm just blessed to be able to play for a legendary coach, now two coaches.
Yeah.
Coach Cowher going into the Hall of Fame, the Rooney family, ownership. My whole life was a total blessing playing for the Steelers.
Dice que él decidió quedarse en Pittsburgh porque él no sabía si se convertía en agente libre, se iba a otra franquicia y no encajaba en el equipo. En Pittsburgh él sabía lo que estaba, una organización de primera, siempre lo han tratado excelente, la relación con la directiva, con los coaches, los jugadores es extraordinaria, es única en el mundo. We're going to say it's like no other in the world, Dermontti, what the Steelers are. Y que él también recuerda que, bueno, jugó para, you played for 2 Hall of Fame coaches and 2 Hall of Fame owners.
Yes.
You don't see that nowhere else in the NFL.
And what about me preceding Mike, and Mike being in the Hall of Fame, and me preceding him and being inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Exactamente.
And now we got Marquise Pouncey, who is putting it down and playing extremely well.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Es increíble, o sea, 2 dueños salones de la fama, 2 coaches salón de la fama. Él siguió a Mike Webster, 2 centros salón de la fama, y ahora está Marquise Pouncey, que puede ser cuando termine su carrera un fuerte candidato también para ser un Hall of Famer. Randy, come on, man.
Oh, man.
We're down the stretch now.
Oh, man. Listen, I'm just getting started. I got 600 more questions right here. Hey, I'm just getting started. Hey, Dermontti, do you think, I know it's hard to follow the game as we get older and we're move away and we're raising our family and we're doing so many different things. Do you think if you were not in the Hall of Fame, would you follow the game as much as you do? Or do you think because you are in the Hall of Fame, it keeps you more attached to the game?
I don't think, even if I weren't in the Hall of Fame, I don't think I'd follow it as much. I mean, I try to keep with all the transactions and stuff, but it's so tough because guys are constantly switching, teams or being cut.
Right.
So, I mean, the key players or your core players, I do try to keep in touch with those guys or just kind of keep abreast of them, But it's so hard, man, because we all have lives. We got families. We got everything. We got to cut the grass. Got to clean the bowl, clean the shower. You can't be on here checking out every transaction and who's with the team and who's not with the team anymore. Right. But you watch the games. I follow them, religiously. So I have an NFL ticket, so I get a chance to watch those guys each and every weekend.
Le pregunta Randy a Dermontti que qué tanto está conectado con el juego hoy en día y si ve los partidos y dice, bueno, que trata de hacerlo, que es difícil porque hay tantos movimientos y transacciones y que tiene que limpiar la piscina, barrer, cortar el césped, o sea, hay muchas cosas que hacer en la casa que a veces no le dan tiempo, pero que religiosamente ve los partidos y trata de mantenerse al tanto de lo que ocurre con la liga. Mario Garcia also says, Dermontti, Randy, he's watching the show from Monterey. Ricardo Flores, he says it's a pleasure listening to you, both you and Randy, your football experiences and sharing all the knowledge to the fans that usually don't have a chance to see it the way we are talking tonight. And that's for them it's very special.
Well, thank all you guys for tuning in and have your buddies tune in as well next week.
Yeah, that's right.
That's our commercial. Thanks.
There you go.
Raul Mejia also says he's best and he's glad to see you tonight, Dermontti, through Facebook Live on this show. But I want to ask you also, what do you miss most about the game, Dermontti? ¿Qué extrañas más del juego now that you don't play it?
I don't miss a single thing about the game except for the paycheck and my buddies.
Dice que no extraña nada del juego.
It is amazing how much money these guys are making now with the television revenue.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Oh my goodness, it's crazy. But I'm not mad at them. I am not mad at them. Hey, more power to them, and they deserve it. Because you put your body through the ringer playing football for so many years, and it takes a toll on your body.
Well,
so they deserve every bit of money they're making.
You opened the door for them. You guys opened the door for them.
And the guys before me opened the doors for me.
That's right. Dice que él no está enojado con los sueldos millonarios que ganan los jugadores de hoy en día, que definitivamente que qué bueno por ellos con estas negociaciones de contratos de televisión y los millones de dólares que ganan los equipos, definitivamente que se lo merecen y que es un gusto verlo así porque los jugadores que estuvieron antes que Dermontti y Dawson le abrieron el camino para que él ganara lo que ganó y ahora él lo ha hecho por los jugadores de ahora. Come on, Randy.
All right. I know this is probably my last one I'm going to get in. So. Okay. So we want to know, you're active on social media, correct?
Yeah, somewhat.
Okay. All right. Well, tell our guests how they can follow you and support you. And then secondly, we want to know with this game, we want to keep it safe for everybody. We just want to know if you would join us, Ricardo and myself, along with Gridiron Heroes, to continue to teach this game worldwide and teach these kids how to play the game safe.
With heads up football. That's right. Hey, tackle, look at what you're tackling and look at what you're blocking. That's the golden rule. Keep that head always up. And as far as following me on Twitter and all that stuff, I really don't do a whole lot of social media stuff. I couldn't even tell you how to even follow me on Twitter. Hey, look me up and then follow. Facebook as well.
I'll help you out with that, Dermontti. Dice Dermontti que definitivamente que tienen que jugar fútbol americano. No puedes taclear y no puedes bloquear lo que no ves. Esa es la regla dorada. La cuenta de Twitter de Dermontti Dawson es @Dermontti, Dermontti con doble T, Dawson, DAWSON. Ahí lo pueden seguir en Twitter. Y en Instagram también pueden seguir a Dermontti Dawson y escríbanle, estén al tanto de lo que él hace. No está muy activo en redes sociales, pero definitivamente que está muy al pendiente de cualquier comunicación que les llegue. Man, let me tell you, I've really enjoyed this. Dermontti, it's been a pleasure. It doesn't compare to what it's been. Having you on the show as our first Hall of Famer, tenerte como nuestro primer miembro del Salón de la Fama en el programa en Monday Night Football Talk. I just wish we can have you in the future back on the show. There's a lot more things we would love to talk to you about, and I'm sure the fans will love to ask you about too. And I don't need to tell you, I started saying this, Steelers fan base throughout Latin America is very big here in Mexico too, and they love to watch you again. So thank you so much, Dermontti.
Well, hey, Ricardo, Randy, thank you guys as well. And you know what? Hey, you guys just let me know when you want me to be on, and I'll come on with you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, well, send our love to the family and enjoy the rest of. Look, you're still early in the day back out there. So.
I'm about to get my grub on with some ribs right now.
Yes.
Dinner, oh, okay. I got a quick trivia question for you. All right, since it's Memorial Day over here in the States, give me any of the top 10 players that played in the NFL and served in the military. How many can you name? Any of them?
Jeremy Stad.
Roger Staubach.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roger Staubach. That's right. Man, I can't remember, man. That's one of the facts I don't even look up, you know?
Yeah, I know. Well, Pat Tillman is the one that stands out.
Yeah. And the Steelers have a great one, Alejandro Villanueva.
That's right. He was a Ranger.
Left tackle.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Mike Anderson, Bryce Fisher, Rocky Blyer.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
Chad Henning, Tyler Donahoe, and Chuck Benedict.
All right, man. Thank you guys. Hey, it's just something you don't think about, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy.
We appreciate their service and appreciate what they did on the field and in the community, because the biggest thing about being a professional football player is that we learn how to serve. And and the reason I want you to share your social media, because, you know, when you're signing autographs in Jersey or Panama or wherever, then people who follow you may be the only Hall of Famer they ever get to meet. So that was the purpose of that. So just continue to.
And if they hit me up on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff, you know, and Twitter, I always answer my own stuff too.
Oh, awesome.
Perfecto.
Yeah.
Dice Dermontti Dawson que él contesta sus mensajes que le llegan a redes sociales. Ya les pasamos la cuenta para que estén al pendiente. Caballeros, gentlemen, it's time to say goodbye.
All right.
We look forward to the money and we appreciate it. Really, it's been an honor to have you on the show. And let me tell you this, My father, he was a big-time Steelers fan. My nephew is. For some strange reason, I became a Raider fan when I was a kid.
It's all good. It's all good.
But I still represent my father as a Steeler fan. So it's been a great pleasure to have
Well,
you.
hey, thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you, Dermontti.
Hey, everybody out there, stay safe. Continue to stay safe.
You do the
El
same.
mensaje. Cuídense
right.
mucho. En nombre de Randy Fuller, Dermontti, Dawson, Ricardo García les agradece. Cuídense mucho, pásenla bien y que tengan una extraordinaria noche. Esto fue Monday Night Football Talk.
Peace.